Welcome back, guys, to Rejects Rewind. I don't know what episode this is, but we're reviewing When the World Comes Down today. I am with Moy. We're going to go over some current events first, though. So, what do we got?
Yeah, what's up, Caleb? Thank you everyone for tuning in again. You probably should have, I probably should have checked and saw what episode we were on, but whatever episode it is, thanks everyone for joining us, and I'm excited to be going through When the World Comes Down today, the first half. But yeah, before we get to that, I think it's very interesting to even have current events topics to be discussing. I think it's back to the dark times of the All American Rejects between like 2015 to 19, where I don't think we would have had the option to do current events. And now in 2025, between every episode we record, there's just so much going on with them, and we have so much to share, which is a really awesome feeling as a fan, as a longtime member of the AA Army. But yeah, so um, we just I think Easy Come Easy Go was not out when we recorded the last episode, but it is out now, and it is at the top of my on repeat playlist on Spotify, and I can't stop listening to it. Caleb, how have you been? How have you been liking Easy Come Easy Go?
It is a really good song. I'm so glad I got to see it live at the house party as well. It brings a amazing energy. We talked a little bit pre-call, and it does feel like a spiritual successor to Some Days Gone. It keeps a little bit of that vibe going. Um,
Yeah.
I love the chorus. It's very, it's chaotic. I would say it's more of like an alt pop type of song. I would say in a way, but it's very good. I love this song. I would actually say I like it more than Sandbox so far. It's also on the top of my repeat as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm in the same boat where I'm not listening to Sandbox as much anymore because Easy Come Easy Go is now out. But I'm assuming that when the next song comes out, I think the same thing's gonna happen to me again.
Yeah.
Um, I really love the I think we talked about this a little in our last episode, but I really love the I guess it's the bridge of the song. Um, where Tyson sounds more like he's talking than singing, I guess. I just love that part of the song. And then he says, "All I have is all I am." Like that's an awesome quote. I love that. I feel like I relate to it. All I have is all I am. That's awesome. But yeah, it's really cool that that song is also getting some popularity too. I don't know if it's at 1 million on YouTube yet, but I last time I checked, it was definitely up there in views.
I think it started to stall, but I think it last time I looked, it was still around like 750,000.
Yeah, I'm looking now. It's at 804,000
Okay.
views, and it's only been out for 2 weeks, which is very impressive. But
Yeah.
the music video is awesome. Shout out to Rough and Tumble Productions. I believe his name is Justin. He
Yep.
also made a video for Now More Than Ever, for Heels Up Head Over. So I follow him on my art account and on my Rejects fan page. As a fellow artist myself, it's always cool to get to see stuff like this come to life, especially for the All American Rejects. But the music video was super awesome, and I definitely related to it too. I guess a little because it kind of shows Tyson getting high, so uh, that was a little relatable. But in the speaking of current events, in the music video, we have a little Easter egg for the next coming All American Reject song.
Which is official. They announced it on TikTok at the very least, I believe. The
Mm-hmm.
next single will be Search Party. I don't think we have a date yet, but if we would assume that it's going to be every 6 weeks as Sandbox was with Easy Come Easy Go, I think that would land right around the 17th, I believe, of July. We also know now that the House Party Tour is resuming on July 13th, so that would be perfect time for them to drop a search party at a few house party shows, kind of get those video hype going again. Which I agree with you. The Easy Come hype is really working. I think it, even though it's not at 1 million yet, I think it's on track faster than Sandbox is. Sandbox is
Mm-hmm.
already over 1 million, but I do think that Easy Come Easy Go may be outpacing it currently.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see because I mean we know that Easy Come Easy Go was Tyson kind of put out prior to releasing it as a reject song. But I mean, and I think it was very low key. Like not a lot of people knew about it. There
It
wasn't
had
a
like
huge push for it.
2,000 views, I think, on YouTube.
Yeah, and now with the backing of the band, it's at 800K. So, and it's I think it's very well deserved because I think when the song first came out, I like you said, I feel like people didn't weren't too familiar with it or just weren't it wasn't on anyone's radar. And now that it is, like, I hear and see people singing along already.
I'm also
And
curious to see what Tyson's thought process was when he originally released it, because he put it under his own name, whereas everything else was going under Sharpton Man or Now More Than Ever. And at the time, his only ever solo song was Air, which was a long time ago. Great song, though.
yeah,
It was a while ago. And it's a testament to the song just being good, just because it didn't get as many views with Tyson. Um, I don't think anything actually changed on the recordings. I kind of removed the vocals from both of them, and it sounded similar. So I think it's pretty straightforward how the song was originally, but just the band playing it. And now like you said, it's up to 800,000.
did um did the intro sound different to you at all, or no? I think I maybe made that up. I thought the beginning of it sounded a little tiny bit different. I could be completely wrong though.
There may be some subtle differences. I know that I was originally, before the song came out, I was thinking that it sounded different in the teasers for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
then whenever I extracted the vocals from it, it sounded similar. Even like the graph of, I don't know what that's called. I'm not like a music engineer, but like where it shows the volume levels and stuff. Like it was
Yeah.
all the same. So
Yeah.
there was no differences. But I did pull the audio from that video that someone re-uploaded recently of the original music video. So who knows if that's even the correct audio.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I love this song. I hope I get the chance to hear it live soon because I really really love the live version. And there is a live like version of it recorded that sounds pretty good. There's a YouTube video that fully captures one of their house shows. I'm not sure if it was the one you were at.
The Chicago one. Are you talking about the one
Yes.
that has the full show? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the audio is great. Like it sounds awesome. It sounds like professionally recorded, and if you skip to the end, you get to hear "Easy Come, Easy Go." So yeah,
I'm curious to see where they will now slot it in on the set list, because I understand they were possibly putting it in between Move Along and Gives You Hell for the House Party Tour, just for the hype, which it actually
hmm
works because it really is a good sing along song live with the chorus.
absolutely.
But I want to know if they're going to leave it there or if they will tweak it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I think they'll definitely be playing it on the Jonas Brothers tour. Thinking, I guess maybe they'll probably play a little over 10 songs, and I'm assuming it'll probably be the hits and then Sandbox and Easy Come. But hopefully, we get some deep cuts in there. Hopefully, we get maybe some search party action. So
Yeah, they did.
yeah,
I don't know if we talked about this really, but I think we may have actually. But yeah, they played Fast and Slow. Sunday's Gone, I think, has been played. So the house parties have been getting a few songs being pulled back out, which I like. I think that the Jonas Brothers tour, I would assume they'd have a little bit of a longer set with them than the house parties, but I could be wrong.
yeah,
With the house parties, I'm curious to see once Search Party comes out if they will have to drop if they will like drop out Sandbox for a little bit, or if they would just drop out like a I Wanna or something like that,
yeah,
which we're going to be talking about here in a second. But I guess the last thing we can mention in current events is, if anyone is curious about how you can get the rejects to play your yard or your barn or your bowling alley, they have actually sent out a website. I believe it is called aarinmyyard.com. We will link it in the description today, but it is basically a Google Doc where you can sign up to have them play in your backyard. And I think Moy's going to do it.
yeah. I'm definitely gonna sign up. I got the email for it. I have a pretty big backyard, so I would love to offer it up. And the crew jacks and the rejects can all stay in my basement, with free food. So that's my
Yeah.
there's my chance at to securing them.
Fridge full.
I'm in New York. Yeah, and free beer, free beer. um, but yeah, I'm in the New York area. You know, it could be a little tough, but I'm in the suburbs and have a pretty big backyard. So the All American Rejects, if you guys are listening, please come to New Rochelle, New York. I will be filling out the form for sure. Hopefully the cops don't show up, but definitely going to be looking at some local businesses or bars as a backup, and hopefully we can get them on board too, because would love to see the All American Rejects in the New York area in a house.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna fill one out too, guys. But I do want to preface this before you go looking at this, thinking you can just get them in your backyard. This seems more like a real tour waiver. That's gonna ask you if you have insurance. It's gonna ask you your parking situation, your load in. So you're gonna have to know a lot of information. Sound setup, lighting setup. Do you have a green room? All that stuff. So definitely, I think what Moy said at the end, sending this up to venues, maybe is what I'm gonna do. Go to some local bars, local places, and see if they'd be interested in hosting this. Because either
Yeah,
way, it's a good opportunity because the All American Rejects are definitely trending right now.
absolutely. So yeah, I don't know what local business or bar wouldn't want them there.
Exactly.
So they are the talk of the town. They were on CNN. So yeah. But yeah, so that's I believe that's everything for current events. I'm sure next time we record there will be even more current events to share, which is again, like I said, super exciting, and it's really awesome to be a Rejects fan right now. But part of the reason that it is so awesome to be a Rejects fan is because of the amazing albums that they have given us over the years, and this one came out in 2008, I think.
Yep.
When the world comes down, 2008. Yeah.
December.
So yeah, December of 2008. I'll let you start with I Wanna.
Okay, well, like you said, it came out in 2008. This album actually just recently went platinum, which is crazy to think, which I kind of
Oh,
always believed that it was platinum, but they just, I guess, recently audited all the All American Rejects albums, and officially it is platinum. So it has 1 million copies sold. Um, for I Wanna, I wrote a little bit about this. Out of the big five, we got Gives You Hell, Dirty Little Secret, Move Along, It Ends Tonight, Swing Swing. I think that this song was their closest song probably to becoming the next hit. It would have been the sixth, I think. It is also number 6 on Spotify. Um, some people would say that this song benefited from having Gives You Hell being so huge right before it came out. So there was obviously some momentum. But to
hmm
be fair, though, I Wanna came out after The Wind Blows, which is actually like my what do you call it, Mandela effect, because I swear that I thought I Wanna was the second single. I think maybe the only reason that gets confused is because I Wanna was released when House Bunny came out, so it was out earlier. I don't.
yeah,
I don't really listen to this song a lot anymore, but this is a very like a sensual, sexual song for the Rejects, I think. Um, It also weirdly to me feels like thematically it ties to like a Dirty Little Secret vibe. So I always thought that this was a really good track one for this album. Same reason that I feel like Some Days Gone is a really good track one for Kids in the Street. It kind of like ties the old sound with the new sound. So like I feel like I Wanna maybe the most like move along sounding song maybe on
yeah.
this album. So like I feel like it brings you back into the new age. It's like Dirty Little Secret 2.0 to me. Um, this song came out, yeah, in the House Bunny movie. I wrote down. I also wrote down that I think that I've seen this live every time. Like I think it's a pretty standard setlist song.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think I've been to a show where it wasn't played.
Tyson likes to change up the lyrics live in the bridge, which I always like. And then, yeah, it's a pretty high song later on too.
Yeah, he hits the high notes at the end, which is actually my favorite part of the song. But yeah, for I Wanna, like you said, I think it's the dirty little secret of this album. Not only in like positioning on the album, but just like the energy that it brings. I love the music video with the phones, and they're just like kind of partying. It was. I feel like it's. I guess like more of a typical like rock music video, like people partying. You got the band playing and stuff. But I love that they included like the phones and stuff. Like I think even though it was like a little more like typical, like what you'd expect from a rock band, I think they still put their own little like rejects kind of touch to it with like the phones, and I think that was really cool. There's two music videos for it actually. There's the one with like they're at the, I guess like it looks like a frat party or something, and then there's one where it's just the band playing. But yeah, this is I always think of the AAR logo with the lights because of this song.
Yeah,
Because I think in the performance video version of the video, and they've since brought these signed back for shows, which is really awesome to see. It'd be really cool to get a mini version of that, maybe like the
that
light
would
up
be
one.
good.
That'd be so that's an idea for the band. But yeah, I think I wanted, like you said, it's I've heard it at every show. The guitar is great. The guitar is like super fast paced. The guitar solo and upbeat. And yeah, I think my favorite part is the end where Tyson does like the high notes. Trying to think if there's anything else, but yeah, to your point, I think this outside of the Big Five was is probably their biggest song, and I think it absolutely um, deserved the hype that it got. It was in the House Bunny. I remember watching the House Bunny basically just to see Tyson
Yeah,
Ritter in it, hear the song. So it is an awesome song, and it is an incredible way to start this album. And I think it was a really good transition between Move Along into When the World Comes Down.
agreed. Yeah, and they brought out the saxophone live now
Yeah,
for it, which is really cool. And you're right. Yeah, it's got a good guitar solo. It's a really overall, it's a really good, solid album opener. And I believe this album is like kind of when they found their own sound.
absolutely.
So next up, we got "Falling Apart." I feel like this song is just very like I wrote down it's like a toe tapping song. It's a feel good song. It's
Yeah.
also pretty standard on the set list, which I love. I think this, I would almost say the song's underrated, but it's probably hard to say that when, if you've been to a Reject show, you've probably heard it. It's also track 2 on When the World Comes Down, so most people have probably also gotten to track 2 on that album. I also love the song, like personally, I like I've used to like it probably more. It's kind of started to probably drift out of my top 10. But when I re listened to
Mhm.
it for this, it made me kind of remember my love I have for it. I feel like it's very, liked by fans as well. I like Tyson's stage performance on this song because usually
Yeah.
he doesn't play the bass on this song. And, he's falling all over the stage, which I think a lot of people, they always talk crap about Tyson and try to say, he's on drugs and stuff. But he's clearly able to belt these notes while he's flailing around on stage. He's clearly a showman.
Yeah, he is a performer, and it shows in this song.
My favorite part's definitely the bridge as well, which I think is just a thing that we're gonna get used to, or we have already gotten used to. Is bridges are just amazing. I just like when where in your garden where the roses sleep when that body's close to me. I've always oddly thought this song had a mix of like a Maroon 5 vibe and like or like even like a Beatles vibe, which I know those are like two different bands, but I
Interesting.
like the "You Can Have My Heart, Girl, You Don't Have to Steal Anymore." The choir in the last chorus, and I just like that this was a kind of an experimental song. It had different guitar sounds rather than just standard sounds like "Move Along," and the debut was pretty standard. There's also a violin credited on this song, and Tyson is credited for playing the recorder on this song.
Huh. Can you hear the violin in the actual version?
I'm not sure unless it's just part of those effects with the guitar and it's just all blended. Because it's
Mhm.
also really probably should have mentioned that Eric Valentine produced this album and he's pretty much a genius.
Actually, I think I would see where I think it's the part that goes. Wait, I don't know.
It's there, I think,
Maybe
but it's hard to like
later.
pinpoint right now.
Yeah, dun, dun, dun. I could see where the violin would fit in for sure. I think I could envision where it would be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I love this song. To your point too, I think I was in a similar boat where there was a time where I could not stop listening to this song, and it was absolutely in my top 10. think now it's maybe faded out a little, but I don't. If it comes on, I typically don't skip it. I think the first time I saw the Rejects in 2017, I don't think it was on the set list, and I remember being really, really bummed about that. I think it might have been cut from the set list actually. Um, but then when I saw them in 2022, the second time, it was they finally played it, and to your point, I try to not record like when I'm at reject shows like for the whole song, which is annoying because then I miss parts of it. But there are parts of the song that I just want to enjoy. But the part of this song that I recorded was the bridge because it's absolutely my favorite part of the song. The lyrics and just when Tyson sings it live, he uses like the echo microphone during the bridge for parts of it. So it just sounds really cool. And yeah, this is like such an upbeat song. It's just like a feel good song. Like I remember when I would first listen to it, it would just kind of get me going. Like it was just put me in a good mood. And even though it's talking about falling apart, like I think uh, I think it is just like a really feel good song. And it's still to this day pretty much on most set lists. I think it's
Yeah.
often like interchanged with like one more sad song or My Paper Heart, but it still does manage to find its way into set lists, and I think it's very well deserved.
Yeah, and I think that violin's definitely in that part where it's like da 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 da.
Yeah. Hmm.
I was just that whole time you were talking, I started to hear it. I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely it.
Yeah.
It's stuck in my head now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next song here we got track three, "Damn Girl," which I'm always interested when bands put certain songs at like a high, like a track three. I always think is going to be a good song, a single, all of that. Um, I think that this album would be the first album where the track three wasn't a single, which obviously "Kids in the Street" is the same. But I think that this song's personally pretty underrated. I think that
Absolutely.
I think it's pretty catchy while it is kind of slower. But I wrote this down with a question mark. I think that fans, or at least the ones that we know, they like this song though, right?
Oh, dude, yeah. I there was a couple of years where I kind of just like wasn't really thinking about Damn Girl, and then I know when I first discovered it, I couldn't stop listening to it, and then it kind of phased out. But literally over the course of like a past year or so, it's like snuck back its way back into my playlist. I think it's incredibly underrated, and I think people who have listened to it love it. I think most people who don't like it just probably don't know about it. And
Is it their most
yeah,
underrated song?
maybe yeah, on this album at least for sure. Well, actually,
I would put it as one of their most underrated though. I'd have to like
yeah,
look. I'd have to make a list, but
yeah, but I love like it, and it's cool that the first two songs on this album are like pretty upbeat, and then it kind of slows down with "Damn Girl." It's more of like a sad song, but it's like one of those energetic, like
yeah, I
I
love
wouldn't
the
say it was
bridge.
more like, yeah, dude. I just love the intro of the song. Like it starts off like it's building up. Like um, I literally legit love this song from start to finish. I think it is absolutely up there for maybe top five
Yeah,
most rated reject
I was gonna
songs.
say yeah.
There's some great
Lyrics
lyrics
too.
in
Yeah,
here. Um,
you lift
I'm
me
like
up
your
and then you throw me back down.
I'm like your victim. All you need is an
Alibi.
alibi.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's an interesting line in here too. When he's inside, there's no room for me.
I know. I was like, oh, which yeah. But I
And
also wrote down there's like a level to the production not seen before on this album. Like Move Along, all the guitars are turned up to 11. But these songs on this album, and especially noticeably on this like intro, these songs they're able to breathe, and then they all have their highs and their lows. I think this is really where the band found where they wanted to make more like um, I would call it a little bit theatrical, but not exactly. But there's highs and there's lows. You get to the third of the song, and then it picks up, especially more noticeably on "Kids in the Street." But this song, with that slow intro, comes in. I just like that the sound isn't all turned up to 11, and it's just guitars strumming. But also, this is one of my favorite drum songs too.
yeah, the drum on it is great. I think it kind of comes in slowly at the beginning of the song, and then it's like it's very intense as it goes throughout the song. I think it's a very intense song. Like I feel like I listen to it, and as it's progressing, the song, like I could like feel the emotion, like especially around the bridge, where Tyson goes, "You think that you can just push me around and na na na, and then you lift me up, and then you throw me back down." And then it just gets quiet. It doesn't get quiet, but like this, the instruments fade out, and it just says "damn girl," and then it like picks up that intensity again. Intense song. I think um, "damn girl" walked, so "some days gone" could run. Dare I
Okay.
say? Because you hear "some days gone" is kind of about like this girl who Tyson, had a thing for, and then he walks in and she's, with his getting with his friend or something, and kind of gives me the same vibes of "damn girl." Like, she stole his heart and then she kicked it aside. So maybe there's a little story between "damn girl" to "some days gone" to then "easy come, easy go," and
Yeah.
maybe "send her to heaven"
Yeah.
is the same girl. I think she like I guess she dies in that one, so maybe they killed her.
Had to end the story.
So the question to the rejects is, are is are "damn girl" "some days gone" "easy come"? Are they related? Same chick, or was Tyson a bit of a player and they're all about different girls?
Oh, that's funny. So, well, next, I guess, I mean, that is a really good track. I also am just curious about the placement on the album. If it was really, it had to have been one of their favorites, I would say, if they put it there.
Yeah, yeah, I think, and it gives me the vibes of like I said "some days gone" too, but I think placement wise also like "fast and slow," because I think "fast and slow" is third on "Kids in the Street," right?
Yeah, and it's not a single either. It's the first two, yeah, that weren't singles.
Yeah, I think it's like a song that could have been a single, and it has the energy to be one, and it just, I
And we
guess,
at least
what's
have like on record Tyson talking about Fast and Slow, but I don't really know of them ever really talking about Damn Girl.
yeah, I feel like it's
Yeah,
never really brought up.
and it's
It was
barely
on,
been played live.
yeah, I mean, there are some videos of it that are very low quality, from like the 2009 era.
Yep.
I'd love to see "Damn Girl." My next question to the reject is, it's not a question, I guess. It's more so of an ask. Please put "Damn Girl" back on that list.
Well,
Is there like
my question would be like, what song is the closest to coming back that hasn't been played in a while?
yeah, that'd be interesting. There's a couple on this album that I'd like to throw into consideration for that. But is there like a video of "Damn Girl" where it's, I guess, like higher quality on YouTube,
I don't
like
think
the
so,
like
really.
live version? Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
most are like,
I think the videos were like, it was like enjoyable, but it was just, yeah, like low quality
yeah,
video.
it's like a fan recorded it or something, and you hear everyone screaming, which I
Actually,
still
no,
love.
there is a really good one. It's live. I posted it not long ago. Someone shared it with me. It's live in Jakarta.
Yes, yes, yes.
I think I
I
posted it on
did.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably the best one.
Shout out you for the archives, dude.
Someone actually sent that when we were doing the Sandbox watch party.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Shout out the Rejects Discord.
yeah, join.
Join us. Shameless self promotion or shameless Discord promotion.
So I guess the next song is Mona Lisa, right?
No, I think you skipped one.
Oh, there's another one there? I forgot.
Yeah, it's not very popular, so
Oh, does anyone know this song? Should we just skip it? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll talk
probably
about Gives You Hell.
where to begin, man.
Well, my notes are two words iconic, obviously.
Yeah. Um, what a song. Gives You Hell. I mean, so I would have I've talked about this many times, but I feel like it's always important to shout this song out. This was probably the second song that turned me into a Rejects fan, because there was "Move Along," which I heard in like the Bionicles commercials, and then "Gives You Hell" was one of the first couple songs that, amongst all the like I guess Maroon 5 that I'd hear on the radio, or like One Republic, or trying to think what other bands. Um, Train, Hey Soul Sister, that song. But among all the songs that I'd hear on the radio, Gives You Hell was one that always caught my attention. It was so catchy. I couldn't get out of my head. Even my parents, who listen more so to like Spanish music, when Gives You Hell would come on the radio, they'd turn the volume up, and I was like, oh yeah, we got a banger on our hands. So if the All American Rejects can make my parents, who don't really like English music that much, turn up the volume, they did something right. And I think it shows with this song. Yeah, it's, it's a generic song, I guess. Not generic, I guess, more so just like I feel like it was meant for like the more mainstream audience. Um, well, I don't know if they meant it like that, because I know the band said that
Yeah, I didn't
they
even.
didn't know if they put it out at first, but it was definitely captured by the mainstream audience. For a lot of people, it was like a breakup song. For a lot of people, it was like a revenge song. I just love singing this song at the top of my lungs, man. The music video is iconic. The lyrics are iconic. I could keep going. I'll let you jump in here, but I still have plenty more to say about this song.
Oh yeah, I mean, I literally didn't write anything down, but yeah, it's obviously iconic. It's their most played song on Spotify, most viewed video on YouTube. It even had that resurgent trend recently on TikTok. Um, it's been setlist closer since it came out, I'd say. Um, the music video is iconic. It's one of my favorites by them. Um, it's just a really good song. It's a good sing along. I think you have a lot of stories about singing along to it as well for karaoke and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, but yeah, to your point about the YouTube video being, one of the best. It's at 197 million views on YouTube, so almost at 200 million, and I'm sure it's past. How many streams do we have here on Spotify for Gives You Hell? Let's see. Is it over?
It's over like 500 million or around there, maybe.
Yeah, let's get the number here. Gives You Hell is at 680 million. Jesus. Yeah, so definitely a popular song. I still hear it on the radio today. I still sing this song at karaoke. I Yeah, to your point, I was in Florida with some friends on spring break. We actually ended up getting thrown out of this bar that we were in, for very stupid reasons, and we basically begged them to let us back in because it was a karaoke bar and we really wanted to sing. So the guy's like, "Yeah, sure, like get back in." I think my friend threw him like a 20 or something to let us back in. We get back in, we sing "Gives You Hell," and we tore the roof off the
Oh,
place. Singing along. For me, like, I guess for my friends, it was just like a whatever moment. Well, they definitely were having a great time with it, but for me, like, I felt like all these years of being a Rejects fan was like leading to this moment. I felt like I embraced my inner Tyson Ritter in this moment. I got to sing one of my favorite songs ever on spring break, and people were loving it. People were singing along. It was awesome. We basically sang the part where, like, I guess, like, where a bunch of people's voice comes in, and the deep voice is, "When you see my face," that one, we all sang it like just the way you would at like a Rejects concert.
heck yeah.
Yeah, so it was freaking awesome. But unfortunately, since it was so awesome, my friend, who I sang it with that day, told me that from now on, if we ever do karaoke, I can't do that song unless I'm with him. So kind of sucks, because I would love to. But honestly, I think it keeps it fresh. So I think if I did it every time, it wouldn't have the same effect. But um, yeah, that song is, what more can I say? It is part of the reason why we're doing this. For me, at least, like, it has fueled my love for this band. It's interesting because most of the mainstream, like the big five of their songs, I see myself skipping them sometimes. But "Gives You Hell," I don't skip it. I can't, and I always sing along to it. I've heard it obviously at every show that I've been to.
I haven't.
Sang along.
No, I'm kidding.
I've
I
sang
have.
along very loudly to it. I used to love when Tyson would sing it live and say, "Take back your memories and all your STDs." And I don't think he said it anymore, but I think he said it recently one time. And when
Mm.
my friend and sang the karaoke version, we said that part as well, but I don't think people got the well, I don't think people got the reference at all. But last time on my birthday when we did karaoke, they did not have the song on the list of available songs, which you can imagine was very frustrating for me.
Whoa.
But sooner rather than later, I will be singing "Gives You Hell" live in karaoke again. So
Well, it's definitely their most recognizable song, I'd say. I mean, there's probably a select few people that remember them more from Move Along, but this song definitely blew everything else they did out of the water as far as like mainstream success. I just pulled up some charts here. It went, what they really talk about is it went number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, but it also went number 1 on Adult Pop Airplay, number 1 on Pop Airplay, number 1 on Mainstream Top 40. It went number 2 in Canada, number 3 in Belgium, 3 in Australia, just like random countries. Um, number 9 in Scotland. So it even had, worldwide appeal. I think this may have really been their first world tour, too, was with this album, like official
yeah,
world tour. There's a lot of videos from the Glitter Ritter era that were all around, Malaysia, areas like that. Obviously, Jakarta was part of that, as we talked about in the Damn Girl video. But yeah, this song's crazy. It was also named. I don't know if it's Billboard that names it or whoever names it, but it was named the most played song of 2009.
wow,
Yeah.
well deserved.
Yes, it was everywhere. Obviously, it was in Glee, which a lot of people credited for helping it. But I just read this. It says Billboard compared this song to "We Will Rock You" by Queen.
Oh wow. Hey, I could see it. It gives those kind of vibes when everyone comes in and is yelling.
The production on this song is also just really good. I like how it is. The guitars are really heavy and crunchy, even though it's a
Yeah.
very pop heavy song, I would say.
Yeah, it starts off. Yeah, the guitars are heavy, and it starts when when they play it live. I think Mike doesn't even come into like after the first verse or something, and there's not many drums at the beginning. It's just a dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun dun. Yeah, but I can't believe. Well, I mean, I can't believe that they were kind of, I guess, afraid of putting the song out. Um, I'm so glad they did, obviously. And I guess maybe I think they knew that they had a hit on their hands when they recorded it, and it came to be. It is an iconic song. When I tell people my favorite band and they're not familiar with the All American Rejects, I say, yeah, they're the band that sings "Gives You Hell" and "Move On." They're like, oh yeah, then. But nowadays, with this recent surge of popularity, I don't even have to say that anymore. People just recognize them now. So
Yeah. It also, this song itself sold like freaking like 6 to 8 million copies.
yeah,
It sold more than the
what a
album because it was right around when iTunes came out, I think, and people could just buy songs instead of albums.
yeah. I think every show I've ever been to of theirs has ended with this song. There has been some very rare shows where it's not last and they end with the last song, but
Which is how it should be.
even when I got to hear the last song, they played that third to last and then came back out and put "Move Along" and then "Gives You Hell" towards the end.
Well, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Sometimes I don't like "Gives You Hell" as a closer, but like the whole back end of the song is so loud it works, because you get the chanting.
Yeah,
But it's just the start of it kind of like is so laid back, like you talked about. Mike doesn't even play guitar and stuff. I don't know.
yeah,
That's just a feeling. I get why it's the last song. It makes sense.
yeah. It is such a powerful song, and all the times I've heard it live, the guitars they sound so loud, and I have so many videos. I love to record in the bridge where everyone's singing. I love to record like the whole crowd. It really just puts into perspective, like, there are absolutely fans of this band, and we will continue to sing "Gives You Hell" at the top of our lungs, and I know I will. So
Oh yeah,
I love
even
this song.
though it's been what, like how many years now, but still it's crazy.
We'll never stop singing this one. Yeah, how long has it been?
17.
2017 years? Jesus. Wow.
We're going on 18.
Yeah, wow, what a song. And very interesting transition from "Gives You Hell" into the title track, "Mona Lisa." Very interesting transition.
Very, and this is where we get our album title, technically, title track. I have heard it live, but Well, okay, I wrote down the only song I haven't heard out of the acoustic set is I've never heard "I for You." So I've heard Mona Lisa and I've heard "There's a Place." It's
Mm.
a very forward kind of acoustic song. It feels like it was a commentary kind of on society
Yeah.
today, especially back then though, but even today. About wanting to be with that one person when the world comes down. Um, the live studio video is really good. I like that they played it in one take, and then you have Mike playing the bass pedal. This is also one of my favorite songs to karaoke. I know I don't like karaoke to actually, but just like in the car if it comes on, I like to sing along to
Yeah.
this song. It's very easy to sing, I would say too.
Yeah, very sentimental song. I think you could do karaoke with this song at a bar, and maybe someone will fall in love with you, dude. Very emotional song.
It's good
This
though.
song actually, this song actually played. Was well, I was just driving with my girlfriend, and the first time we actually ever kissed, this song was playing in the background. So hopefully, she is by my side when the world comes down. Hopefully that was a good sign. Um, but yeah, this is a uh, very emotional song, and I think I guess when this album came out, the hype was all around "Gives You Hell," and maybe people didn't tune into this one as much because it was a little more sappy, but it shows the contrast, like the two sides of the All American Rejects. They can get very rock heavy and like I don't know if grungy is the word, but like just very rock heavy, and then they can transition into a song that can make you cry. So it's
Yeah.
awesome. I have heard this one live too. Nowadays they've been kind of doing well, they did this on the Wet Hot tour, like when the world comes down into There's a Place. I kind of prefer There's a Place, but it is also always nice to hear When the World Comes Down. I know there was a time when they weren't playing both and they were like alternating between When the World Comes Down and There's a Place.
Yeah.
And I think 4 or 5 years went by without me hearing There's a Place. So every time I heard them loading up When the World Comes Down, I was like, damn, man, I really wanted this place. But I've gotten to hear both now, so it's all good. But yeah, I guess let's see. My favorite part of the song. I love a lot of the lyrics.
Yeah.
Like we don't care bags, we can just leave town. You can sit beside me when the world comes down.
I feel
You
like
be the queen, I'll be your
I like
clown.
that. Yeah. I feel like this could have been
Yeah.
a single, honestly.
Is it not technically a single?
No, not technically. I feel like it could have been that ballad single though, kind of like the "It Ends Tonight."
Yeah. So then wait. So the singles on this one are.
Gives You Hell, The
I.
Wind Blows, and I Want It.
Oh, so there's only three on this one.
Yeah, three official singles. Yeah, I think that obviously they have their promotional ones. Like the Real World was a promotional, I think, as well,
Yeah.
which was on
Yeah.
Madden as well. This song, yeah, I like the song. It's very chill and it's definitely a change up from Gives You Hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty sappy song. There's a live version of it on the Kids in the Street deluxe album, which is good too. And then you have the demo version, which is a little faster, but
Yeah, the demo version
yeah.
is definitely more fast paced. It's the one they went with. The official version has more like plucking the strings. I feel like, or picking them.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a great song. Very emotional, and I would say it's probably, I guess, one of the more emotional songs in this album. Well, you have Back to Me, which I can't wait to talk about in the next episode. But for the last one on this one, we have Breakin', which I'm sure we'll both agree is absolutely one of the most also underrated All American Reject songs, just like Damn Girl.
Yes, love this song.
Let's see here. Yeah, Breakin' is. I think I've maybe seen one YouTube video of Breakin' that exists where they're singing it live. I would love also the All American Rejects. If you guys ever listen to this, just a suggestion.
Yeah,
Maybe we could get on a set list. That'd be great. Um, it's super fast paced. It's like I guess one of those like upbeat, like sadder songs, like a fast paced sad song. The lyrics in here are great. All these wasted, all your tears couldn't match the bitter taste of all these wasted years. Wow, that's a good one. You take everything that wasn't even yours. I love the bridge here. The end of the song is super fast paced. Let's see, where's the bridge here? Every note that you wrote, I hope that you choke on the lines. Super like
I love that.
just yeah. There's so much emotion behind this. Maybe this one's about another girl too. Like we get in the Some Days Gone and the Damn Girl, but I can't say much more about the song other than the fact that if you haven't heard it, you gotta listen to it, and you'll see why I think it's one of the most underrated Reject songs.
I agree with you. It's one of my favorites as well. I think it's very underrated. I don't think though that that's necessarily a popular opinion. I don't know if many people are. Maybe they are. I don't know. I just don't really hear people talk about it.
Mhm.
I think this is a power pop classic song. I feel like this is just another song that tells people they were not pop punk. This is a very pop rock song. I love the vibe on this song. I did find an interview where Mike said that this was his favorite song on the album and that it was their most unique song they had ever made. Um, I love the take and the wait and parts, and then you already mentioned some of the lyrics that I was gonna say, but yeah, like blind eye only sees a memory, but all I see is red. It's every note that you wrote, and I hope that you choke on the line. It's really honestly always been one of my favorites on the album. I do remember someone in Discord said it reminded them of. Oh, I feel like they said Jonas Brothers actually. So that's
Interesting.
interesting, but I think it's one of their best songs, honestly. I don't really have much else to say about it. I've never seen it live, but I wish they would play it. I really like this song. It's catchy to me. The chorus is good. You're right about the sound though on this song. Maybe it's more of a happy sound and sad song, but I do think that this album actually um, is different in the sense that we do start getting songs that sound like they're supposed to sound.
Yeah, yeah. The guitar in here is very unique. Like the just from the beginning, like the first, just it goes right into like a super fast guitar, and then it just picks up. It is very unique, and I see why Mike liked it, and it's it gives like I feel like When the World Comes Down has such a vibe to it that I like can't put my finger on and I can't describe it. And maybe after the end of next episode I'll be able to put it into words better. But I think this song captures it the best. Like it has like just so much emotion. I think this may be one of their most emotional albums.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think Kids in the Street is up there as well. But I think every song in this album just has so much emotion behind it, whether it's a fast paced song or like a slower song. It, it- there's just I can't compare it to any other band. Like I can't think of a band that has a song that sounds like Breaking.
Yeah,
And it goes to show just how unique the Rejects are, and how much emotion they can put into a 3-4 minute song.
this is a very nostalgic album for me too, and also I would say this probably might be their most underrated album at this point, which is weird to
Yeah.
say because I do feel like at least lately there's been more Kids in the Street love than there's ever been. So
Hmm.
maybe before the House Party tour started because everything's kind of shifted to that, but there was definitely like people were talking about Kids in the Street. The band was even playing Fast and Slow, Some Days Gone. Bringing a couple songs back. Um, so this album really is becoming the underrated one now, even though it has Gives You Hell. But I just think it's a really good album. It fits a vibe really well, like you said, and every song on this album is crafted really well, which I do credit a lot to Eric Valentine, the producer. He's really genius. I don't know if anyone had ever watched that. You probably watched it, but it's not available anymore. The 3-hour production video of Gives You Hell.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I have. Yeah,
Yeah, so
or
that
I've seen clips.
yeah,
Sure.
that's like a genius video. So it really shows how they crafted this album very well. And obviously Tyson and Nick are a freaking amazing writing duo. And to round it out with Mike and Chris as awesome, you know, freaking just professionals all around. I don't think I've really ever seen this band mess up, even though obviously no one's perfect, but they're such a
Hmm.
tight band. Even though we may have never seen Breaking Live, um, I know if they did bring it back, it would be good.
Absolutely. Yeah, and yeah, to your point, I'm thinking of I guess I think this album is getting a little underrated because I looked through all the songs and there was a time where every single song we just went through was like I couldn't stop listening to it. It was like banger after banger. And I almost think that because Gives You Hell was so popular that it like overshadowed like some of the rest of these. Like
Definitely.
I think with Move Along, like there was, you had Move Along, Dirty Little Secret, It Ends Tonight, like three gigantic hits. But I genuinely think that I Wanna could have been just a gigantic hit as those, and I think maybe Gives You Hell, like I guess just like I said, overshadowed. But
Yeah,
um,
it's interesting to think what this album does without Gives You Hell. Does it do the same, or vice versa?
yeah, um, and I'm trying to think here. I guess I've heard all of the songs we mentioned today live except for Breakin' and Damn Girl. So
Yep.
um, yeah, so it still gets some, but I think the back half,
They don't play
I've
anything, I
actually,
don't think.
yeah, I've never heard anything from the back half live. So, but yeah, we'll talk more about the back half of the album in our next episode, and hopefully have some more current events to share as well. But anything else we want to cover? I'm trying to think if I can put you on the spot with another one of my questions.
Well, what's your least favorite song from the first half?
The first half, let's see. Honestly, and it's not because I don't think I dislike it. I just think I like the other ones a little better. I would say When the World Comes Down is the one I listen to the least.
Yeah.
Um, maybe because it is a little slower, but whenever I do, like it puts me in a good mood, and you know, I still love it. But I would, if I had to rank them, I'd probably, I don't know if I can. I maybe would go Breakin', then Damn Girl, then Gives You Hell. This is really hard to do,
Yeah.
and then I'll just say the rest are a tie.
I would take Breaking number one, Falling Apart, Gives You Hell. I don't know, yeah. Or Damn Girl's got to be up there too. I don't know. It's hard.
It's really hard. I know that it'll be very easy for me to rank the second half, because there is a song there that I'm super duper excited to talk about. So
Ooh, I think I know what it is. But I won't spoil it. And we will probably have current events, I'll say, next episode. So thank you guys for listening. As always, um, give us a follow. I'll have the links in the description. And next episode will be the second half before we get into the final album until January, hopefully, whenever the fifth album is out.
yeah. Oh man. I'm excited for Kids in the Street. Super duper excited. We might have to I might talk a lot during those. So
Yeah. Be ready, everyone.
yeah. Well, thank you guys again for listening. Caleb, shout out you for just, being Mr. Archive in the AA Army, and I totally wanted to shout you out too, man. Like I think about all the stuff that's happening in the AA Army lately, and just I think a lot of the band's uh, support could be traced back to you in some way. I think you've helped keep the community like very tight knit. We have our little crew on Discord. We have our fan pages and stuff, but I think you are part of the engine that keeps the AA Army running. So shout out you, man.
Well, I really appreciate it, man. And shout out to your fan page as well. How old is it turning now?
Dude, it's turning 10 years old this year. So
Wow.
December 22nd will be the 10th birthday of the Rejects, now more than ever fan page, formerly known as Hail the Rejects. So we have that to look forward to as well.
Definitely a community effort, guys. And definitely join the Discord and check out just the community there and talk with us. We'll be there. We're going to drag Moy back in there. And
I'll be
and
that
it's just
guy.
good conversations in there, guys. There's always people talking about different things about the Rejects, house parties, everything like that. Um, I'm just so happy that the band is back and maybe at their peak.
Yeah, getting the recognition they deserve. It feels awesome to be a fan of them during this time.
And we'll get more into this later, guys, because I'm tagging this on at the end of this episode. But next episode, we'll get into some details about it. But I talked to Moy about this, and I did launch a review website. It's called AnthemEra.com. So me and Moy, we may try to start doing some more written reviews just in between episodes. So I'm going to link that, guys. We'll talk more in depth next episode. And there'll be some opportunities for other people to come and write for us as well. It may even feature bands that aren't the Rejects as well. We'll see.
All right. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Thank you guys. See ya.